So the policeman said, yeah, but that'd put us all out of work, the motorcycle cops and all. So I said, well, what about a school district? It says 15 miles an hour, school district, children crossing. Be careful. Drive slowly. They leave it up to you. But you can't always notice everything around you. And you don't always obey those rules. So I have a pavement that looks like a comb. And when the kid wants to cross it, he presses a button and it turns up so no car can hit a kid. Do you understand what I'm saying? Anybody that doesn't? It's a lightweight structure that turns up. When that kid presses the button, the red light goes on, just turns up so the kid can cross the street. So I said to the policeman, by the way, I can design a system near the school so you can't do more than 14 miles an hour. School, you can press on the gas all you want to, but the power output, that's finally going beyond. So I tell the cops that we don't have burglary because people have access to information, have access to the necessities of life. Why should they break into a store and steal? Because they can't change human nature. Then I show a film on changing human behavior. You understand? Every job can be phased out as long as it's a process that you learn. You can put that in a laptop. They're not there yet. The laptop doesn't tell you what to do. But in the future, say you want to pick a home. You want to pick the home you want to live in. You sit in front of a plastic bubble and you talk to it. That's the architect. I want a home. The bubble says, what kind of home? Most people, I'm not sure. So different homes appear and rotate. And you say when you're ready, stop, something like that. And the next thing you say is, I'd like to see the floor plan. The roof lifts off. You and your wife or your friend or your partner, or if you're gay, your male partner looks at the plan and says, can you move the children's room next to the adult bedroom? Meaning this matter, and it moves right as you talk. Then she says, I'd like the washroom in a certain way, and as you talk it changes. And then it says, would you like a virtual experience? You walk into another room and the house you talked about appears as a virtual reality. She says, I didn't think the sink would be that low. It's a say when it moves up. So you get exactly the kind of house you want, not what some architect think you want. Everybody doesn't understand that? How much can you do with that today? Oh, we can do a lot of things. There are materials that can change color by temperature. There are materials that can change color by command. There are machines today that can write what you talk about. See? So when a person, this is a true thing, I'll tell you. Somebody wrote Somerset Maugham and said, Somerset Maugham is considered a good writer, great writer. She said, I want my son to be a great writer. What should I do? What school should I send him to? He said, don't send him to any school. Give him $300, turn him loose in New York, and tell him not to come back for a year. He'll have something to write about. When people go to school and want to become writers, so they got a formula. Same with movies. You can't show everything being okay. For example, in ancient Rome, it was normal for Saturday and Sunday people to come and see the Christians being fed to lions. But they used to starve the lions and make it more exciting and tear the clothes off the Christian people so the lions would have an easier job of tearing them to pieces. So the whole family used to come, and the kids would say, Daddy, can I come next week to see Christians being fed to lions? And Daddy would say, if you behave yourself. Now you think those kids are nuts? No. That was normal to their environment. You go to a circus today, you watch two men punch the hell out of each other because you're brought up in that kind of environment. You like football, baseball, sports. None of that will exist in the future. It makes people unhealthy, aggressively. They get sore at each other. They don't come over and say, hey, you did a great job. Even in football or baseball, they don't walk over you. Tennis, a little bit of that. But most sports are not good. Wrestlers jump on each other. If you guaranteed to take care of that guy after his injury, it'd be all right, but you don't. You keep punching guys in the head, and they become cerebral insufficiency. You understand that? That's why people will never go to an air show to see a girl fly upside down through a hangar. You know, she's great. If she crashes, you should have been there. You missed fire of 14 planes, 8 people were killed. You know, people are all sick bastards in this culture. What they demand is unhealthy. Yes. Thank you. Did I get it?
You're on HD now.
Well, anyway, it's important that I get this information across to you. Now, whenever I say I know two people in the same environment, it's never the same environment. They don't know how to make an identical generator of behavior. So you never give kids ratings in school. You got a passing mark, you got a failure. Once he said, what did you get? Then you get all kinds of distorted behavior. I'm smarter than you. You know what I mean? Jealousy, envy. So in school, you have to learn how to upgrade certain people and do that with everybody. So everybody learns at the best rate for them. You no longer grade people. And you no longer get your PhD, and that's it. School continues all through life. That's an emergent society. An established society, you get your PhD and you're out there and you're working. See, nobody will ever learn everything about everything. So you're always learning new things. That's why the old folks, people my age, sit on a rocking chair and talk about the good old days. When I was 21, I was a horse's ass. You know, at 35, you learn a little more. If you fall in love at 14, then you fall in love at 35, it's different. Your standards keep changing. So it's very hard for people to marry young and go on indefinitely. The average marriage today lasts about 5 years. Because people aren't trained for change. In this society, they will expect change and look forward to change, not be threatened by it. If a new machine comes in my factory, I don't say to you, you now work 3 hours a day, your pay is increased by $40 or something, and your vacations increase. I get rid of you. It's called downsizing. So new machines, the Luddites in England, they try to smash machines, you know, because they were a threat to people. In the future, there'll be a blessing. There'll be no dirty jobs, nobody breaking your window or raping your sister. All that's weeded out. People have sex when they're able to. And you no longer you have to show people, you have to teach them a lot of things, of course. There's such a thing called dynamic equilibrium in nature. That means if you have 100 acres here, and you have 2 fox and 4 rabbits, or 6 rabbits, and rabbits eat the roots of plants. If a drought comes, the rabbits die and the fox die. But if there's lots of roots growing, the rabbits will multiply, so will the fox. But the fox can't multiply beyond the carrying capacity of that environment. In other words, if you produce more people than the earth can feed, you're going to have riots, hunger, crime. So we must study the carrying capacity of every regional district of the earth and maintain a population in accordance with the carrying capacity, not Fresco's opinions. You understand, I'm not a dictator, but you understand that is a bunch of scientists telling people what to do. First we measure how much transportation do we have, how much arable land area, that tells how many people the earth can support. Then you do a global survey of national health, all kinds of physical diseases. You build your hospitals in accordance with your survey. You don't put up a hospital, hope you get enough clients for the next 4 years, because hospitals go bankrupt. The system is no good. It's detrimental in every area. I can't think of anything this system has except technology. We're moving forward in that area. Other areas, we're backward.